favorite shows, and this is the season finale or the mid-season finale. I don't know what they call it. So anyway, we pick up where Grace has announced to the congregation that she's stepping down as a pastor, and she shook and they're shook and everybody is on and on. So she goes and AJ is in the back, so she meets him and she whisked him off. And the thing that gets to me about Grace is she gives AJ mixed signals, and I think like from the shows, the reviewers that I watch, that some people are like insensitive, or they don't not insensitive, but they don't see that part that she is like, she wants him to be around, but then when he comes around, it's like, and I know she has to protect her identity, or not identity, her reputation, but she's like, what are you doing here? And then I don't want you to leave. It's just like that weird thing she has going on with AJ. So that annoys me with her. But anyway, she gets him off and he tells her, I'm turning myself in, and his whiny behind. I mean, she has the whiniest children. I'll get to that later. So she does that. So Phil and Judy up there talking to Bob and his eyebrows. Shout out to Forrest Rock. She names her characters like that, and one of her characters is like somebody in their eyebrows. But Phil got them bushy eyebrows, so he's talking to Judy and old smooth talking Phil, and he's upset because he had plans for Grace, and Grace then walked out, so he want to know like what's the matter. So they're telling him, and Phil is giving him the runaround, that smooth talk that he does, and Bob knows something is amiss, but he listens, and Judy decides to be petty and tells her daddy he's in love with the singer, talking about Phil, and putting him on blast about having this relationship with Charity. So, that gets addressed right there, and clearly Judy ain't over Phil. So Lady May, or Charity, goes to Lady May, and she's like, Mom, I didn't have anything to do about it. And side note, yeah, like, well, y'all don't know, but I love Charity. I have like such a girl crush on her. I think she is, oh my goodness, she is beautiful, fine, and all that stuff, but she's ditzy as ever. But she talks to Lady May, and y'all know Mama knows. If you're a parent, you got your own parental figure. Mama knows when you about that bullshit. And Lady May was like, look, don't come here and lie to me. Like, you know what you did. Like, how else would Phil know? How else would he have gotten that proof? And she was like, I ain't even mad at you. Phil just knows you dumb enough to be his little pawn. And I was like, Lady May be hitting you with them gut punches. So Charity was real upset about that, and she was like, well, I just want my life. She goes into that whole thing about not having her life. And was this talk? I can't remember in the past, like, was that talked about where she had this animosity because she wasn't like the preacher. I guess maybe when Grace came back, the attention went away from her, and then the whole thing with Kevin and her baby and stuff like that. So, maybe that she's seeking her identity, but Lady May gives it to her. And it was like a lot of these scenes and a lot of the dialogue in this show hits home, because it's like they give it to you. And Lady May was like, look, when you mess with somebody's life, you did that intentionally, not to me, but you were intentionally hurting your sister, and that affects me. That affects when you affect your sister, you affect AJ, her children. The going down the family line, like how she hurts the whole family by her little selfish, thottish ways. I don't call it sharing them thought. But yeah, so that was like a powerful point. So my boy Aaron and Grace, I love their relationship. So they up there talking to AJ, I'm gonna turn myself in, and Grace is trying to figure out what else is going on, because she can sense that he's not being completely truthful about robbing the pharmacy or why he did that. And Aaron like basically was like, well, look, why you don't turn yourself in today? And AJ is like AJ is like caught off guard. He was like, "You don't want me here?" Like he does that. He's very like passive aggressive, and he does his famous thing. I mean, this boy is the king of storming out. So he walks out, and he's like, "I'm leaving." You know, this boy walks out more than Tamar. If y'all watch Braxton Family Values, that girl will walk out in a minute. So he leaves, and because Aaron then put him on the spot, like, if you're gonna turn yourself in, why you ain't do it already? And Aaron and Grace talk about their plans and like how they're not going to give up on him, but you know, it's like they both know that there's something deeper going on with your boy AJ, who needs a touch up on them dreads. So Kerissa, with her mean ass, she and Grace crossed paths, and I said I wasn't going to do scene for scene, but I have to. But Grace was like, "Look, girl, I ain't got it. You know, I didn't step down. I ain't got no job, so I can't buy you out." And Chris was like, yeah, whatever. I got to get to the urgent care. So Grace was like, is it, is everything okay? And Kerissa, you know, she ain't got no chill. And she was like, of course it's not. You know, I'm going to urgent care, which was a stupid question, Grace, but Kerissa ain't got to be an ass. And Grace always stuck that with that little blank stare on her face. She annoys me. I just wish she slaps the shit out of somebody one day. All right, so Sophia and Dante, they all like boot up and kissing and all this stuff. And what stuck out was him calling her a bad girl. And I'm like, did she, you know, put that out to him that she's just this rebel? That kind of turned me off because I was liking their relationship, but it's, you know, like, I know she's not about that life. Like, Sophia at heart is not a bad girl. She just got taken off her path by the things that happened to her, you know, with not being able to have children. So he asked her what she gonna do on Sunday, and she, what kind of plans she had on Sunday, because she's a bad girl. He knows she ain't going to church. And she like, you know, I gotta go holler at my brother. He's back. And you can tell that they both had this conversation, which is real cute. You know, I like that they talk, and it seems like they're really into each other. I don't get no sneakiness from them right now, but we'll have to see. All right, so Kerissa, mean behind, she up in the up in the urgent care, and she like, please let it be negative. Please let it be negative. And the doctor coming in was like, it's positive, and I'm thinking the girl pregnant, but Kerissa has contracted chlamydia from old Fernando, so we know that's gonna be a problem because she didn't give it up to Jacob. So you know, now he has it. You know, he has it. So she lets the doctor know that I didn't. The doctor was like, well, you can talk to your husband. I'll give you something, you know, to talk about prevention. She was like, I ain't get it from him. And the doctor's like, okay, girl, we'll talk to whoever. Bye. All right, so Lady Mae is confronted by the members of the board, two members of the board. I can't think of those two ladies' name. It's the lady with the French twist and the other lady with the flared nostrils, your girl, Auntie. So she is the girl with they telling her that Charity has the deciding vote when it comes to a tie. And at the mention of Charity's name, Lady Mae was like, what has my little idiot daughter done now? And it was so funny because she shaved the hell out of little Charity. And because she know her daughter ain't got no doggone sense. So they talk about like getting Charity on their side and having the making the vote, having the vote to vote with them instead of Harmony and Hope. So Charity, you know, she feeling some kind of way, honey. And her Phil came in, and because she's dealing with that guilt and she know what her mama said is right, she confronts Phil like, are you using me? And, you know, Phil smooth talk the crap out of her. And he tells her that, look, Charity, be still and know that. And she was like, God? And he was like, the man that loves you. I said, go ahead. Like, Phil be having them lines. Like, Charity, he could be telling Charity, look, go rob this liquor store. And Charity be like, well, no, I don't want to go to jail. He'd be like, Charity, shh. And he'll put his hand on her lips or something. Like, he's one of those, like, he always got some kind of, like just one hit or quitter that'll just get her just all the way together. And she'll just fall into it. She was like, what do you want me to do? I'm saying, girl, your nose wide open, girl. So here's the ladies I was talking about. So they, having this conversation. Lady May is skeptical about Charity, and Bishop was like, he gonna go handle it and talk to her. Now Kerissa up here with her mean behind reading the Holy Bible in bed, and Jacob, doing that little scooch, that little poke that men do when they want some, and he's trying to get it on with his wife, and Kerissa like, nah, bro, I can't do it. And she tells him she on her period and all that. And then he kind of hits her with like the gut punch, because he's like, look, I hope you feel better. It's like, oh, like she knows she done did, feeling guilty and all that. So Bishop goes and talks to Charity, and he's like, look, I understand you want your life, whatever, but girl, if you do this, you're going to regret giving up everything that me and your mama worked for to this white man. And Charity is like, I'm going to stick with my man for my man. All right, so AJ, the whiny siblings are talking. He telling Sophia is this girl named Sophia? And she up here crying. Well, if you go to jail, I'm going to write you every day. I'm going to send you money. How do I put money on your books? And the way she's all giddy about it, like this dude about to go like stay with his daddy somewhere. And where is his daddy? But like he's about to go stay the summer by his dad's house or something like that. Like it's just really weird how giddy she is. And he like, look, don't write me. Don't do nothing. Don't send me no money. Just forget I ever existed. It'll be better for everybody. He does that guilt trip stuff, which is annoying. But, we got to have some understanding. He was, left and he had a bad foster experience and all that. So, Sophia's really upset because she's trying to be there for her brother and he's pushing her off. And it's understandable. Like I said, I try to have empathy towards AJ because has gone through this. He has this bad past and is about to go to jail possibly. And, people who've been in jail, like they say, it makes the time longer when their families communicate with them. So they just want to do their time and not have to worry about the outside world. So I think that's where he was coming from. So Sophia like, well, can I come with you? He's going for a walk. He was like, no. He leaves her there. All right, so the boy votes, and of course they're tied. And they need Charity to be the tiebreaker. Phil come out there smooth talking, and she was like, do I have to do this? And Phil was like, no. But put his hand out. Like, girl, come on. I mean, he has the smoothest Jedi mind tricks ever. Like, he just, like, no. And he tells her no, but then he puts his hand out. Like, that's some smooth stuff. Like, he just suggested to her. He must be, like, I don't know, but that's some manipulation type stuff. All right, so Jacob come out there asking Kerissa if they have any cranberry pills or something. He thinks he has a UTI, bladder infection. And Carissa's like, no, bro, you ain't got no bladder infection. Look, sit down. I love you. She gives him that whole spiel. He's like, look, now you're scaring me. So that's what I like about Kerissa, her redeemable qualities. She is a straight shooter. Like, she don't beat around the bushes. She was like, look, I got this. And, yeah, that ain't no bladder infection. So he flips out, understanding, like, who did you get it from? And Fernando, huh? And, he's going off, and Kerissa is upset, of course. And he was like, well, y'all in some type of sleazy motel. That part just got to me. And she was like, no. So he tells her, look, get out. And she gets mad. She's like, you telling me to get out, like, this is the only time I've been caught. He was like, yeah, but I never gave you anything. Get out. So, but Kerissa, baby, she comes indignant, She like, look, you gonna put me out your mommy house? See, that's the type of stuff that gets you smacked. Ladies don't do that, especially when the man is already mad. But she was like, you put me out your mommy house? I ain't going nowhere. And starts throwing up his past and everything. So yeah, they have that issue. I had to get this here. Lady Mae is Lynn Whitfield is such a beautiful like woman, and to say, I hate ageism because it's like it's always women like, oh, she looks good for her age, but she is a beautiful woman. Like even her body is straight and everything. But she's talking to Bob, and I don't know if this is the point where he calls her over to this is the part where he calls her over to talk things through about Grace, and he's like, well, he selects Lady Mae and him to lead the church, and she agrees to it without even consulting Bishop, which is messed up. But I think she just like, I'm gonna do anything to save my church. So yeah, Bob and his eyebrows, he tried to get that slick talk on Lady Mae, and Lady Mae was like, but look, yeah, that's cool and everything, but let's talk about your boy Phil. And she had that little devious look on her, and she let him know Phil got to go. He did this to Grace, so she told Bob how Phil double crossed, or whatever you want to call it, to Grace. All right, so these two, Sophia and Dante, they cuddling up, and he asked her to take it to the bedroom, and she was like, no. Well, she didn't say no, but she was like, I never done it, and he was like, well, we don't have to do it. So that's what I thought was cool, but I don't like to see like little children. Like to me, these are little children. So like in these little sex scenes, whatever, it I don't know. But anyway, like just talk about Dante right quick. He does not seem like an athlete. Like he's not big and tall. Maybe because I'm older and these are like children to me. So maybe he's big if I was looking at him if I were like 16 or 17. But he just doesn't have that athletic appearance. Like he doesn't, I wouldn't look at him on camera. He doesn't strike me as an athlete. Like not even his physique or anything. He just, I don't know. He looks like a little boy. And he is a little boy, but I'm just saying, well, he's not a little boy, but he's a young man. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know if y'all get what I'm saying. But anyway, so he tells her, look, we don't have to do it. And she was like, no, but I want to. And he was like, well, we can stop. Just let me know when you want to stop. And, that little dialogue. And I found it funny that they was looking at somebody baking cookies and she finna give them the cookie. I know I'm corny, but it was funny to me. So I guess, they didn't done it, child. I don't know. So Kerissa then went to Fernando, and he had some news for her. She let him know, like, I got some news for you too. That he tells her, and she knows how to play the game. He told her that the deed, the property was willed to the Greenleafs, I guess by a parishioner. But this lady died in a botched robbery, and that's how they got the property. So it looks like they had this lady killed to get the property or something, and Mac's name, or Lady Mae's brother who Grace killed, is all over. They got so much killing, like Bishop then killed Basie Daddy, Grace and killed Mac. Now they got this, but yeah, so that's what it looks like, that they set up this botched robbery in order to get this property. So, of course, this is leverage for Kerissa. But Kerissa tells Fernando was like, nah, what you got to tell me? And Kerissa slaps she's like, oh, yeah, I got something to tell you. And she acts all nice, and she slaps him, lets him know that he gave her that chlamydia, and she leaves. So, I don't know. I guess that's the end of their little rendezvous. So this was one of the beautiful scene here with AJ and Grace, and like this season has been like really dark. Even like the camera, I mean the lighting and everything in the scenes has been really dark. I guess the mood is dark, of course, but it's most of the scenes to me have been like shot in the church, like in the offices, and there's not very much light shown. So this was nice to see AJ and Grace having this moment to where they could talk, and she's asking him, like, why you want to leave and why you want to do this and go to jail? Like, what's going on? Is it something you're not telling me? We can spin this as if you're an addict, like we can help you. And of course he's refusing, and he does some type of like flip with his hands. And I can't remember what he was saying at that point, but it was real touching. Like she starts to cry and he wipes the tear from her eye, and he leaves again, of course. But Grace is trying to figure out, she knows something else going on, but AJ is not opening up. So, excuse me, y'all. So Lady May and Bishop talk, and she tells him, "Look, I didn't took the position from Bob," and Bishop told her, "Your cockeyed ambition is something having you to make wrong choices or something like that." But that cockeyed ambition, I'm gonna have to use that cockeyed ambition. Like they have some good lines on this show, like ambition cocked like a pistol. Like he told Lady May, you don't know what you're doing. Basically, like you just making decisions because you want what you want. So Bishop is upset with Lady May about that, but it ain't gonna last for long. So Phil, old sweet talking Phil, then got Charity over there at his apartment, and he's telling her some story about how he liked magic and his daddy took away all his magic stuff because he failed some shit, I don't know. And he lets Charity know that I want this night to end in magic or something. It basically, he proposes to her. Why doesn't Charity notice is that every time he wants her to do something, that's when he like rewards her. Like he tells her he loves her, he kisses her, he says, something nice only when he's wanting something from her. And Charity makes mention that she's old fashioned, and like there was talk about staying the night, and she was like, I'm old fashioned. And she, didn't want to stay the night because they're not married or whatever. And that's when he pulls this out. So, like that's, see what I'm saying? Like he always is asking her for something, and then he gives her these little, does these little gestures or whatever. And he proposes to her right after that. So I don't know if that was just to get the draws. I don't know. Like, do y'all think that Phil actually has feelings for Charity? It's kind of up in the air, but he proposes to her, and I love her natural look, her natural hair, and all that stuff. She looks beautiful. So Charity accepts, and look, Phil got that pimp look. Like, yeah, I know, I'm smooth. So baby Charity gets up and hops on it. Charity like ain't no more old fashioned. She climbs that tree, honey, and we get a little shot here. I said that now the camera lady must have been a woman, because we get to see Phil and all his old man finest. I'm being funny, like I don't think he's old, but we got to show this old man chest. Like I think this was just a flexing scene, and I appreciated it. Yes, I can't remember this man's name, but he used to play on that show with Anika Noni Rose. It was about the college, the black people. I don't know why that show went off, because I really did like it, but I liked him on there too. All right, so Phil is called to the office by Bob, and Bob's like, "Look, I know what you did last summer. I know what you did with Charity. I mean, with Grace, and putting her out there. That was wrong." And he's on his whole self-righteous thing. And Phil was like, look, you didn't did more than that. Like, stop tripping. And I didn't been there for you for 20 years and all that. He almost broke into like a Mary J. Blige song, like, I was your lover and your secretary. Like, he talked about how he'd been with this man for 20 years and he just want to preach in the church. And I'm like, Phil, why don't you just open your own church? If you that good, then the people will come. But I guess he's invested so much time into Bob, but he could have done all that for himself. But I guess maybe he needs the capital or whatever. I don't know what it is. But side note, do y'all know who Professor Griff is? Phil looks like Professor Griff to me. Maybe y'all youngins don't know who he is, but search him up. He has a YouTube channel, so you can see who I'm talking about. He was a member of Public Enemy. I hope I'm saying that right, because I'm trying to get through this. But yeah, he looks like Professor Griff to me. Anyway, so he's like, look, what do I have to do? I'll do anything. I just want to, run a church. And Bob has this like smile on his face, and he sits back, and I ain't gonna lie. I thought, I don't like, okay, so y'all don't judge me, but I thought he was about to ask him for some fellatio. But it didn't go there. He asked him for something else, and we'll talk about that later. So you could tell Bob was like, "Yeah, I'm about to use this." All right, so Jacob comes home, and why does he have that mohawk? He's such a fine man, and I'm glad he don't have that fro that he used to have, that little old man fro like he had in that movie with Jill Scott and them. But that mohawk, I think, like once you pass 21, like that mohawk thing is just outdated. But anyway, maybe he's trying to match Carissa's haircut. But anyway, he's like, "You still here?" And she was like, "Look, you may not want to be talking to me like that." And she confronts him, like, "I got some information on you." I think at this point is when she confronted him. No, that's not. But she was about to confront him with the paperwork. So Phil, him and Bob, they made a deal. So he comes up to, I forgot to add this part, but he comes up to the property and talks to Lady May. He's all arrogant because he know Lady May didn't ratted him out. So he tells her, like, "Look, you may want to come and get your stuff out of the church. It's over basically." And my girl Zora is one of my favorite characters. Baby, she backed up with her grandma. She like, why, like, why would she do that? And he tells her, "Because the church about to be demolished in 1 week, boo boo. Like, this is all me now." And he basically like tells Lady May, like, "It's over. We demolishing the church. We taking over. Y'all need to get y'all stuff and get out." And Lady May is absolutely shook. So Charity comes her dumb behind downstairs, and she's real snide and rude to her mother, and like, "Oh, baby, I see you down. I thought that was your car." And she's like, "Did you come and ask for permission?" And she was like, Lady May was like, "Permission for what?" And at that point, I want y'all to go, if y'all can rewind it, when she pulls out that ring, Zora's like, the face that she made, like she get that look like, "Oh no, she didn't," like, "Oh, it's about to go down." It was priceless. I had to rewind it like 2 to 3 times. But, she shows her mama that they is engaged, and Lady May is like, "I know you lying." And, Charity has that look on her face like, "I showed them." But she just don't know. She just stupid. So Zora comforts her grandmother, and which was real sweet. I like the transition that Zora has made, but it's like a give and take. Because, we see her and Sophia's character and how they parallel one another, I guess. But that it was upsetting. Lady May be dressing. Look, she just be on point. All right, so Phil goes up there with Charity, and then second, like, hold up, why did Charity think she could bring Phil up in her mama house like that? I'd have been like, "Where you going?" That would have been my mama. That would have been my grandma. Like, "Where you going? Get the hell out of here." She wouldn't have been able to bring, but I guess Lady May was so caught up, she just like was like, "Whatever, I'm through." So she's talking to Phil, and Phil's like, "Look, there's gonna be a wedding, but not between us." I was like, "Damn, Phil, you could have said it." So, like some kind of way. And Charity, like wanted to throw up. I'm sure she like threw up a little bit. She was like, "What?" Like, what about last night? And he was like, "Look, I'm marrying Judy." And he just was like very matter of fact about it. And I don't know if it was concern or he was trying to see concern. It's hard to read Phil, which I think is good acting by this man. I think in the future that he will like start to regret what he's done, and I think he's going to help the Greenleafs get their church back once Bob messes over him again. But he tells her, like, he gonna marry no booty Judy, honey, because Bob made that clear in their initial meeting that he still, that Judy's marriage failed because she's still in love with Phil, basically. Like that's his problem. But yeah, so Sheridan and got her face cracked. She was like, "Get out." And she told him to get out, and then she was like, "No, get out." And this is like teeth showing and all that. You know, when somebody makes that face, when somebody shows you your teeth, their teeth, you better run. I would have put hands on Phil. Like, I would have grabbed everything in there and whipped Phil's ass. But she let him live. So Sheridan ain't got her face cracked. So at the end of the season, the end of the episode, Grace is out there praying. She says it's very heartfelt, touching prayer where she's praying for her family, giving thanks for her family. I like that necklace. I wonder where she got that from. Anyway, she's saying, going through her family, giving thanks for them, and at the same time, it's like a montage of what they're going through at the present time, kind of wrapping things up, which I thought was really clever. And they show Sophia coming back home, and I guess she wanted to tell Zora about, if she gave Dante the goods or not. But Zora ain't having it, so Zora like, forget you, girl. She's still mad because Sophia then took her boyfriend, who Zora once wanted. That's real. I don't know if she mad about because she wanted to do, or if it was her friend's boyfriend at first. I still haven't figured that out, but I hope they mend their relationship. Yeah, so she walks off. Then Jacob and Kerissa, they talk. She confronts him with the paperwork, like basically, if you say something, if you put me out, I'm going public with this. I got this on your parents. And it looks like Jacob doesn't know what to believe. They also show Lady Mae praying and Bishop reading Bob's book. Yeah, so she's at this, all while she's doing it, she's at the gravesite of her sister Faith. And she was like, I know Faith brought me home to do something. And Grace is a very monotone. I would love to see her have some fun. When she was banging Rick Fox, and what happened to Rick Fox, but when she was banging him, she was much more like fun. But, I guess this ain't a fun season. So one thing I noticed is when people talk about this dude who walked up on Grace, they say he just appeared from nowhere, but he did walk up on her. So this avatar looking dude, and it's like there's so many theories, but he walks up on her, and at first to me it looks like CGI. Like, if you've seen Gemini Man with Will Smith, this is what, like, he didn't look real. He looked like an avatar or something. I don't know, but of course he walked up on her, so I know he's real. And I think I know it was intentional that he have this, mysterious persona. And of course he has the dreads, and, he's kind of similar skin tone as AJ. So we all are led to think that he's some kind of way affiliated with AJ. So he walks up on her very creepy, and Grace like, how you get back here? Like, and he tells her he just was walking. He points to Faith's headstone, like, that's your sister. And she was like, yeah, how you know? And he said, the dates I just figured it. Which is, I'd have been like, who sent you? Like, where you come from? Like, I would have totally been asking questions, but Grace never asks questions or never responds. Like, she just always has that little stupid blank stare like that. And he's like, Grace, everything has an expiration date. Everything. And Grace is like, yeah, like the road is that way. You want to leave is that way. But like, you could say she's creeped out, but she don't know what to think. So that was like a really, I don't know what that sentence, the expiration date thing was about. He walks off, and she's like, what the hell? Where did that come from? So, and you can see him walk off right there. Like, people were saying that he didn't walk off, but he did. Like, they were like, he vanished. So, a couple of theories that they have is that this is the real AJ. Some people say that he is, the reason that we haven't seen Noah is because Noah was visiting with his son, which is this dude, and not the AJ that's coming to play, that's been involved with the Greenleafs. And I think that's a good theory because we, like, where is Noah? Is he walking? Like, I don't know, but that could be right. That, I've heard people say that maybe this guy is the real AJ, and the one that's in the house is had they met in prison, and he shared his adoption story, and this guy assumed his identity. Some people saying that this is a ghost, this is some type of premonition, and I can take that too, because he did make that statement about the expiration date. They were saying like this is some type of omen, that he could be saying that AJ is, sick, that, the things surrounding his him stealing that medicine, that maybe he's sick, and this guy is letting, it's like an angel of death, he's in all black, and not all black, but in dark clothing, maybe he's symbolizing that AJ may pass away soon. I don't want to see that. Like, I think that they've had so much death and hardships, that it's just too much. And why would we introduce AJ into her life to just take him away? Maybe it could be a testing of faith for Grace, but of course, we had the thing with Sophia last year, with her having the surgery and losing her ovaries and not being able to have children. And then Grace killing Mac and all that. Like, I just don't want to see that. I'm hoping it's the first theory, that he is the real AJ, and this other guy assumed his identity, maybe to get help for the medication, because that would explain why he would ask for money, but he didn't want to be around him, and maybe it could be like a guilt thing. I don't know. As far as going forward, and I'm just gonna go through the pictures to remind me. I hope that Kerissa gets hers, that Jacob lets Lady Mae know, and Lady Mae put the foot down. She didn't already put the smack down on Kerissa, but she gets her out the way. And Jacob can go ahead and call Tasha, can press the red dial button. Is it the red one? When he makes the call out, the green one, when he makes the call out to Tasha Skanks and rescues her, and they can be together, because Kerissa is too like grandma-ish. Like, she just seems like she doesn't like Jacob. She treats him bad. She emasculates him. She married him for the money, like, because she thought that she would inherit the Greenleaf estate, or she thought that he had the money, when in fact it was his parents. Grace, the whole jail thing, we got to deal with that. Don't know what's going on with AJ. Like I said, I hope that is the real AJ. Charity is going to have to deal with this. I think Charity may fall back into that drug addiction. It looks like she has some type of addiction to prescription medicine and alcohol. So I think this is going to send her into a downward spiral again. Marisol might as well get adoption papers and adopt that baby, because Charity ain't finna have a baby with her no more. Phil, he's going to get his through Bob. Bob going to have to give him his karma. I don't want to see him marry Judy. That lady is creepy. What would be funny is if he ends up leaving Judy for her, and then she turns into some type of like killer stalker, because she has it in her. That Judy character is very creepy. The way she just looks like, I don't know. But yeah, I think that he's going to turn it around for the Greenleafs, but not until he gets, his just due. Lady Mae, I think she's going to keep on pushing, trying to do whatever she can do. They got a whole 7 days before the church is demolished. So I'm looking forward to see how that happens. Zora, I don't think that they'll develop that too much. Like, she's probably just getting closer to God. I think that she will start to, her and Sophia will have a relationship where she starts to mentor her in a way, kind of like a reversal in the roles, and try to get Sophia back into it. But then they'll be able to bond, because now they both have experienced each other's, they switch shoes, so I think that would be cool to see. I hope they get into that more. Bob, don't know how this one going to end. We might have to kill Bob. Like this power or something where we just kill everybody on there. Bishop, I want to say, I hope that there's nothing that happens to Bishop. We had this whole thing with him and the Parkinson's disease. I think that's what he was suffering from, and that hasn't come up yet. Somebody mentioned that he was shaken in one of the other episodes, but I think I missed that. But it seems like they have the church on the members of the church, at least half of them, on standby because the votes were tied, and then those other two ladies were meeting with them when they were once against them. So I think that's a good sign. Some kind of way you're going to turn it around. Sophia and this boy, I really don't care one way or the other. I mean, I don't know. One of the reviewers said that she might have a miracle pregnancy, which might be a good thing. Let's see. Who else? I already talked about Scary Judy. These two should just end it. Let's see. Charity at AJ, I think that I'm hoping that this AJ is a fraud and he just needs help he's sick or something and he needs help, and that's why he act like he was Grace's biological son. So I'm hoping that's the theory that they go with, and of course Charity is going to have to face them demons and just own up to her stuff. It's a tough lesson, but like I said, she'll go through definitely she'll go through a spiral. So we'll see how that ends. So anyway, that is the ending of my season review, predictions, or whatever for Greenleaf. I hope y'all join me for the rest of the shows that I have. Please subscribe,